I can say that the ECORE was quite challenging for me, but at the same time it was very interesting, an adventure.
I used the ECORE in my management accounting courses, which are part of the graduation of accounting and administration at ISCAP, the Porto Accounting and Business School at Polytechnic of Porto.
I found the experience with ECORE challenging. It was quite interesting to work with it, and it's an engaging approach to teaching.
Use the ECORE as a learning, very specific learning tool, and in the second case, in a very specific motivating tool.
Is something that I used in at the beginning of my course on translation. And so it was more of a motivational device to use with students to try and push them to attend the course. Both years I used, I happened to have to teach in COVID times. And so all my lectures were online, completely online. All my courses were online. Even this year, I decided not to show up in person, and I did all the courses online. So it's useful to have something to attract, their attention at the very beginning. And so I engaged them, I challenged them with this serious game without explaining too much about the contents.
So the objectives are diverse, because in the first case, I will try to know if the student had understand the contents of the subject, because it's a very technical subject of auditing with local students and with a very demanding subject. Okay. In the second situation, my idea was to increase the motivation of the students. Play with them, again, not very exigent, not very difficult, but the idea was to increase their attention to the course.
So now practically investment analysis and of course investment is taught on the base with the guidelines of the serious games. So this is quite a big transformation, I can say.
I think mainly students have the opportunity to develop their skills, not only technical skills related with my courses, but also some soft skills. For example, when I created the game, which was related with production planning, what I realized was that students had the opportunity to develop problem-solving skills and critical thinking as well, besides all the other skills that are needed for the management accounting course.
They learn how to think out of the boxes, because we always stress this point. Yes, thinking out of the boxes, making all the environment, envisaging all the environments, especially the environment in the period of uncertainty.
My students have, we have designed a storyboard on general issues of translation. So with the help of ECORE, my students specializing in translation studies, enrolled in an MA in theory and practice of translation, were given this exciting chance to revise some of the general theoretical and practical ideas connected to translation studies.
My course is, my field of studies is auditing and also accounting. So the idea is that the students feel like they are in a professional situation in which they have to solve some specific task.
Also, they have learned how to work together, how to support together, find out that sometimes the correct answer is not the right one. And this is something that is also can be learned through the serious game. And what is also important, they were learning by doing, but in a fine way. This was the most important for them.
They try to obtain information about the company, missing information that I have hidden in the plot of the game, and they have to find this information, to analyze this information, and then to decide what type of audit report they have to use. So they have learned how to be an auditor.
I first of all learned how to be more creative when teaching, because it is a game which is much based on one's creative capacity. I have also learned to think of more interactive ways which simulate real life situations in order to prepare my students more efficiently.
I learned how to use another tool of delivering contents, because I think we as teachers need to be open to new ways of delivering our educational contents.
For me, it was also a challenge to think out of the boxes, because I have made several attempts to create a storyboard and later on to transform into the serious games and to certain steps. So creation of it was quite a challenge.
The most difficult part was how to set up a storyboard and how to bifurcate, if you actually want to bifurcate the plot, so to say, which makes things much more difficult, because then you have to imagine different exits out of the plot, and even to imagine what kind of catastrophic, what the catastrophe is. I mean, which incident is can actually change the result. The final result is very challenging.
I learned not only from the using of the tool, not only from the technical aspect, but also the relationship with the students, because I thought that they try to be more reflexive. They try to study a lot, but it was the opposite. They wanted to be the first in finishing the game. They are very competitive, more than I thought at the beginning. So from my point of view, I thought that they were more relaxed. It's the impression of my student. But when you give a situation in which they feel important, they need to progress and to be the first, change totally the situations, and that's I learned a lot of this, because my perception of my students was totally different.
The actual tool is a consequence and makes your dream become true, but you have to have a dream. I mean, and you have to be able to imagine how to do. So I mean, there is a kind of the fact that you also have a tool, of course, encourages you to try and make storyboarding stories from academic contents.